Hey everybody, Mark Pescetti here with Mike Henderson. Say hey.
Hey everybody, hi Mark.
So here we are, lockdown 2020. We're talking about copy, we're talking about marketing, we're talking about winning because even though these times are strange, no doubt, right now is also such a great time to launch. We are seeing such great numbers across the board in dating, financial, health, supplementation, self development, self growth. There are so many opportunities to win right now because people are stuck at home, and the demos that purchase 50 plus still have plenty of money. They're not being necessarily as affected by the coming worldwide Great Depression as a lot of
Mm.
the younger people on this planet.
Yep.
I don't know if I qualify as younger people anymore. So we're going to talk about the 80-20 rule. You know, a lot of people talk about the 80-20 rule in marketing. Well, how does it apply to copy? Really, 20% of, of copywriting is actually copywriting, the actual writing part. Only
Mm.
20%. What's the other 80%?
Well, it's everything that's not actually to do with putting your pen on your paper or sitting down and writing. And I've always been big on research when I write anything, actually spending time absorbing what's going on and not just bashing out words. So to me, yeah, 80-20 seems about right. But I think for a lot of people, it's surprising that there's a whole world of information and process that they actually have to go through. But it's research, it's understanding your market, it's understanding who you're writing for, it's understanding the conversations that are going on in the heads of people that you're addressing that message to. It's taking the time to sort of digest and process that information and think about how you need to position it and what the most effective messaging is. And there's a ton of internal stuff that needs to happen before you get to that point where you're putting words on page. Because if you're sitting down and without already that feeling that you've got these messages coming out of you ready to go, then it's probably the case that you haven't actually absorbed enough and you don't really have enough creative energy going on inside of you to really maximize the quality of what you're doing. Um, so yeah, that whole 80% is just getting to the state where you're in that optimal position, ready to roll when you hit the ground with your running.
When copywriters sit down at the keyboard and they're like, "Oh, what do I do? What do I write? What do I say?" There's so many elements and ingredients missing to cooking that perfect funnel, so to speak.
Yeah.
Those ingredients, you hit them. We have to isolate the mechanism. The mechanism is so critical. How it works for me, why it works for me, because so many elements come from the mechanism, are built on the foundation of a solid mechanism. So how do we isolate that? Let's say somebody, like another copywriter we know is working with a client who has these connection cards. How do you get to the mechanism of a game that's supposedly going to help you connect with strangers to become friends or even
Mm.
lovers? So there has to be that mechanism.
Yep.
And so in working with him, trying to isolate this mechanism for the client, it that's where the beginning of the project starts, so
Yeah.
to speak. Now, this copywriter has already done the interview, and I asked a bunch of questions about what the content of that interview entailed, and trying to make sure that he got the ingredients that he needs to vet out in order for the creative process, the 80%, to really start steamrolling, snowballing. And it turned out he didn't. So I'm getting on a call actually with him tomorrow to help him interview his client
Yeah.
because if you're not asking the right questions, then you're still Stevie Wonder playing pin to tail on the donkey. No offense to Stevie Wonder, I bring his name up a lot. I love him. But it's the reality. And when clients come to any copywriter, that copywriter or those copywriters need to be the leaders that help define that 80%. That's why
Mm.
people come to us as clients, partners, is they need help breaking their vision down into bite-sized pieces so that we can take baby steps, be meticulous about those baby steps, and then create momentum again where the steamrolling, the snowballing just happens. And everything starts pouring out of us. It's like pouring out of our fingertips when we have isolated the dog whistle language. You know, we have that mechanism. We have a new, real, core, new cause that's letting people off the hook for why they failed in the past, right?
Yeah.
You're with the same conversation. Remember this. And they've already conversation. You're already putting your offer, your solution, in a compromised state, so to speak. In other words, you're not going to sell to people with a conversation that they've already tried and failed. So you need to give them that new reason why this, you know, is the cause, and why everything you tried in the past predictably didn't work, but now it can. Right? That's a critical element.
And I guess you find a lot as well, like you talk to business owners who have a great product and they understand it generally, but maybe even in their head they don't fully know that mechanism and understand the power of it. So it's your job to figure that out.
A lot of business owners are very aware of their mechanism. They just haven't put it into words.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
And just need a little bit of help, the right questions.
Yeah.
So that the mechanism just flows out of their mouth like a great cup of coffee pours, right? They want that silkiness in the laser focus, being aware of your mechanism and how people talk about the problem so that you can enter the conversation, positioning 101, right? In a way, at a point where they feel the most emotion. So that you don't have to scare the shit out of them. You're just connecting with what there is, what it is that they are experiencing better than everybody else, more effectively than everybody else. That's so incredibly important. And if you don't have these elements crystal freaking clear before you put pen to paper, as you say, or fingertip the keyboard, then the project, the campaign, the funnel is set up to fail from the get-go. And that's not why we invest in developing our visions. We want to connect with the most people so that we make the most sales and obviously the most money. And the more money we make, the more people we can potentially help. Because then our resources expand and we've received validation that, yes, this offer matters to me. It's important. And I want to invest in it. If we don't give people that permission in the copy and in the marketing messaging, it's just not going to convert.
Yeah.
That 80% is so incredibly important to nail down. And again, it's not just going through the process, it's being laser focused in the questions you ask and where you take the answers, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Going further down the rabbit hole to get to the conversation, the core emotion, the core dog whistle language, the core real new cause that lets people off the hook so you don't even have to say it's not your fault.
Yeah. And that's also part of the reason why we're so big on, you know, not doing what a lot of people do in offering our services for single jobs here and there, but we want to work with clients over the long term, because once we've really drilled down once or twice, you have so much more to be able to use, so much more creative capacity. So really the quality of that work just gets better and better. If you work with someone just once or twice, you know, it's hard to really do that justice.
And when you dive deeper down these creative rabbit holes and you expand your creative capacity, then we're also able to come to the table with, you know, really credible leads to test against, openings and scripts and sales letters and webinars and pre-sales and all that type of stuff, so that we have the test and to get the most relevant data back, you know, so that we get to that winning campaign the fastest. Because the copy that's gonna convert like crazy where you start seeing some action and start seeing validation to your offer, is just little tweaks away, if not right out of the gate where we need to be, because we've done 80% of the work correctly, right?
Yeah,
Not only
absolutely.
developing the offers, oftentimes people come to us with offers that are not fully cooked, and we make sure and finish cooking them so that they're ready for prime time, so to speak.
Yeah.
So anyways, we would love to have some conversation going around this 80-20 rule, because there's a lot of misconceptions about how it applies to copy. A lot of people think that it's just I'm going to sit down, write the copy. This is what's going to convert, make it work. No, it has to. The when I got into digital marketing, and I still have the email to this day. I still own the domain.
Yeah.
It was Reflection Marketing. My
Oh, yeah.
tagline, "Your Vision Mirrored," and I still hold to the essence, the premise of that brand, which is the more that we can create a reflection of your authenticity, your vision, your passion for getting a solution to market, the more that that can be reflected in the copy and come through in the copy, the more it impacts people. Intention matters, ladies and gentlemen. Your intention matters. It's not just a matter of you wanting to make money. It's a matter of you connecting with people better than everybody else. That's what copy is. It's the language of emotional connection. So when you can emotionally connect with people at a higher level, your copy is going to convert at the highest level. So let us know what you think about this. Let's have a conversation, and let's get more specific with your circumstances. Apply the 80-20 rule in copywriting to your circumstances, and let's see how powerful it really is. Anything else to add, Mike?
No, but that covers it well. And we just want to hear from you, really. Let's sit down, talk, see what you're doing, see what we can add to that conversation, and take it from there.
Sweet. All right, everybody, reach out, comment, like, follow, all those algorithm-y things so that we can reach more of you. All right, Mike, I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.